Hey everyone, it's Grant Garrison again, coming to you from Australia. Now, this video is super important because I'm actually going to give you the controls for adjusting each of your impact conditions. Controls are the positions or movements that directly affect your 4 impact conditions. Well, this is going to give you what you need to start improving at light speed. Interestingly, after I give this lesson to my students, I usually don't see them for a while because they're off on a journey of their own improving. It's like I've given them a license to drive their own car to take off on a journey, only to come back and tell me of all their adventures. Teach a man to fish and feed him for a lifetime. Now, most golfers are trying to fix their swing, but they're not actually fixing the problem. They hit a poor shot and immediately the guessing begins. I lifted my head. I came over the top. I came out of the shot. What does all that mean? Sound familiar? Now here's the truth. You can't fix your impact if you don't know which impact condition it was that went wrong. And most have no idea, so it's a series of guesses. This fact keeps most golfers from getting better, even if they're practicing a lot. Every shot you hit is primarily governed by 4 impact conditions: your low point, your face angle, club path, and your contact point. To a large degree, your golf handicap or golf scores are a reflection of how much control you have over these factors and how many great shots you hit on the golf course. For example, if your low point is too far behind the ball, you don't need to keep your head down. You need to adjust the controls that affect low point. And those are the actual mechanics behind the condition. If you don't know what controls those low points, then how can you expect to change it? And that's the difference between fixing your swing and just guessing. Think of it like driving a car. You don't grip the wheel tighter because you're drifting into someone else's lane. No, you make a slight adjustment with the steering wheel because you know it's the control. You simply need to understand the controls that govern each impact condition. Now, before you start thinking this is just getting too complicated, stay with me because there's only 4, and we're going to tackle the first one right now. Let's give you the controls for low point. Now, if you watched my low point video, you understand that the low point is supposed to be in front of the golf ball. That's the lowest part of the arc, and it's more for your short irons and less for your long irons, and it's actually behind your driver. Please refer to my low point video to really understand this. But what are the controls? What moves that low point forward? That's the problem, because most people have the low point behind the golf ball, and that of course is going to make you hit fat shots and thin shots. So for 99% of golfers, we're trying to get that low point more forward, and it's a very difficult task. So I surveyed my students for years to find out what works best for them, and it came down to 2 controls. There was a lot of bizarre answers that worked, and that just shows you that people feel different things. But from a biomechanic perspective, these 2 things make complete sense, and that's why they work so much. So, number 1, what we want to do is we want to understand where your pelvis and your chest center need to be at impact versus address. So, my address position is here, and my pelvis moves a significant amount. I'm not going to get into numbers, but because we shift and we rotate and we lift, your pelvis center at impact is a lot more forward towards the target. Now, here's the thing I need you to understand. Your chest center also goes that direction. Not as much, but it still goes this way. So my address position is here, and my impact position, my center, is more forward than where it started. Okay, so I need you to get that because that moves the center forward. We've got to move both centers, this pelvis and the chest, forward. So here's my impact position. Okay, here's my address position, and I've moved both of them forward. Now, the pelvis actually moves a little bit further than the chest, and that's why sometimes people feel like they're trying to keep their head behind the ball, and that's okay, but you've got to understand that your address position and your impact position are much different. And when you just make some practice swings and start to feel this, that forward motion, you will feel right away that you actually are going to bottom out the golf club more in front of the golf ball. Okay? In fact, if you just try to actually hit the ground in front of the golf ball over here, you're going to actually do this very naturally. You're going to move everything more forward, the pelvis and the chest. Okay? And I'll show you on 3D now what this actually looks like. We actually call it, on Sportsbox, we call it the sway gap, and that is just a vertical line that's actually drawn between these two centers. At impact, both the pelvis and chest have moved forward from where they started at address. And that forward movement is essential. It's not just the hips, the entire body is shifting towards the target. And this creates pressure and momentum into that lead side. But here's the key, pelvis moves more than the chest. And that creates what we call sway gap, a small but crucial difference that helps drive the low point forward. And this is how the body creates shaft lean, ground contact, and compression without even needing a perfect looking swing. Forward with both, but slightly more with the pelvis. That's the control for low point. Okay, so what is control number 2, and the last one, there's only 2, for low point? It is your trail elbow. Okay, right-handed, so this would be my right elbow. So in biomechanics, this is called external rotation. This is called internal. So it's external rotation. Okay, get that right elbow right here in front of the golf ball before impact, and you will have a very difficult time hitting the ball fat or thin. So control number 1 has to do with moving to the left. Control number 2 has to do with keeping your arm in external rotation, feeling that elbow in front of the golf ball at impact. And after this video, I'm going to show you the specific controls that affect face angle, path, and contact. Then I'm going to show you what a practice session would actually look like when you're improving at light speed. And I'll tell you what, when you get this lesson, it's going to put you in the driver's seat, because it's going to put you in complete control of your improvement. This isn't a swing theory channel. This is a ball control channel. When you learn to control the ball, you control your game.